Welcome to episode 7.16, where the numbering just doesn't fucking matter. CCVT podcast. Nothing makes sense, but we're doing it anyway. Let's go.
Bonsuela.
This is a rather dusty Sunday, isn't it?
It is. Although I'm feeling a little bit better now.
Are you?
Yeah.
How did you pull
come
it
back
this
to
morning?
life? Yeah, I was a little bit dusty. It was funny last night. I came home completely fucking hammered, and Hannah offered me sparkling water.
Oh, yeah?
Got me a glass, I was lying on the stairs.
Sparkling?
I took a sip, and I just went on a tirade of like, who the fuck buys sparkling water? This is the worst fucking drink on earth. People that drink it are retarded. And like, I went on a tirade, and then she just like walked over, poked her head around. She's like, it's my favorite drink.
Oh,
the first thing that went through my head was that this morning. I was like, oh,
That was your anxiety.
dickhead. Yeah, great form.
And then just spent an afternoon in the milking shed to recover this afternoon.
I feel like a dairy cow.
How are you, Jake?
Yeah, class to be fair. Significant. I think if I hadn't been so dusty yesterday, I would be hating my life more today, but just like dust is relative. Like yesterday I was so dusty that the level of dusty I am today is actually manageable.
Sound.
Yeah, nice.
Only had one shower today, not 6, so...
I love your shower rotation when you're
Yeah.
It's walk into the living room with your hands on your knees, just, I'm getting in the shower.
Literally, it's just go for a shower, hot water on my head, calms down the headache just enough to get to sleep for like half an hour, wake up, still dusty, back in the shower, repeat until sober.
It's my exact same rotation.
When Wellington's water crisis kicks in, I'm just not going to be able to drink because I won't be able to shower.
I had a headache, a serious headache this morning. Yeah, I had the England game on and I was like rolling around. You know, you're rolling in bed so incessantly and you just...
Yeah,
you're in and out of sleep too, but you just cannot shake it off, and it's just pure
twisting,
pain.
Nothing is comfortable.
Yeah,
just getting through it.
The fine balance between too much blanket and not enough is like on a knife edge.
It's constantly whipping one leg.
Too cold, too hot, too cold.
The sweat just kicks in.
Got all your blankets on, but all the windows open as well.
I'll tell you what, the aircon, you turn that shit on cold and get the blanket all the way up. That's the one. That's absolutely fucking...
I wouldn't know about that. I'm down in the airconless game.
We've got Jake living in
Dobby's
the garage
cupboard.
now. He sleeps under Paz's car in the garage.
Is it Paz's car finally in the garage?
No, it's not. It needs to get off the road before I actually get stung. Because if I get stung, I'm going to cry. I nearly cried when I lost my football boots this week. I will cry if that thing gets a $400 fine.
Well, at the moment, it's gone from being clean to having the rug back in it, which we need to get back out.
Yeah, we
and then Sammy's reconquested the garage. So.
Oh yeah. There's drills everywhere.
Yeah.
You know what's mad? If you get pulled over by the cops driving without a warrant, they give you 2 weeks to get a warrant and you don't get fined. If a fucking parking warden sees it, they give you the same fine and you cannot get out of it.
Really?
At all. You have no way to sort it out.
Parking wardens are
It's fucking bullshit, bro. There was a point where my car couldn't get warranted. I didn't have anywhere to put it. I got stung twice, and both times they hit at registration and warrant. Both of them are $200 fines. I had nowhere I could put my car, wouldn't start. It's $800 fucking dollars.
How much?
And I fucking paid one of them, but I paid it late, and they'd already sent it to a debt collector. So I paid it, but the money was already off at fucking whatever debt collection agency. So I had to pay them as well, and then went for a long ass thing to try to get the money back that I'd already paid, and I never got it back.
Was it Karen's debt agent collection?
I've just googled parking warden salary.
Bucks.
Dogs 60k.
Average is 22 an hour.
That's less than minimum wage.
It's less than minimum wage. Just work at McDonald's, man.
At least if you work at Macca's, people don't walk around with just disdain when they see you. You walk in anywhere. If your mate became a parking warden, we've talked about this, they're done. That's it. If Jake came out and said, look, guys, I've had to get a new job and I'm a parking warden now, I'd be like, well...
why is Jake looking for a new job?
I don't know. We'd be like, well, mate, we've all signed the forms already in anticipation.
What would be worse if one of the bros came around and was like, oh, I've become a parking warden, or if they said they joined the police?
Yeah, police would be a dodgy one. Stephen was going to be a policeman. When we met Stephen was going to be a plot.
I can imagine
Stephen's the name of a policeman.
Yeah. Just with the mo as well.
Just the moustache, 100%.
He's got the stature of a policeman too. Like the way he's just got the big shoulders.
Just the demeanour as well would just be like fucking...
Oh, whoa.
You're right, mate. No, come on. Walk over here.
Stop
just
that.
With the hand. Come here. What are you
just
doing?
imagine, like,
Steve would actually make the baddest
you went
policeman.
to a festival, like, in 10 years. So he does a couple of years at NZD&B stuff, and then becomes a police officer, and then starts working at festivals. And like, you're at a festival absolutely off your trolley, and Stephen's the one that arrests you. You're just like nicking his hat, like, fuck off, you're not arresting me, come on, don't be silly.
It's a fine line, eh? If you walk into your mate who's a cop and you're pissed in town, like, well, how much can you fuck with them? Like, they have to obviously draw a line somewhere because people are watching. Like, they're a cop, you can't like boop them on the nose or something.
How good's that video of Snoop Dogg with the fucking joint when he passes it to the copper?
I haven't seen it.
You know, I've seen that. He's like at the front of a festival. He's like off the stage. He's like in the bit between the stage and the barrier, and he's like standing there and he's just being all G and he's smoking a fucking. He's bopping back and forwards. He's just smoking a blunt next to a copper. Copper's stood there, and he literally just goes. The copper takes it off him and has a go.
Oh,
it's so good.
So you'd be looking back on that like 3 months later, unemployed, like, man, it was sick that I smoked that joint, but I would really have liked to keep my job.
Being a cop in LA would be one of the cities or states where weed's legal would be sound. Because you just get stoned as all the time.
I'm sure they probably have laws or rules on the police force that you still can't fucking...
like that video was like that police officer's 15 seconds of fame. Now he's on the dole because he got sacked immediately.
Exactly, bro. Those 15-minute guys are hilarious. The guys that got so famous for something so dumb, and then it's like 10 years later and they're still getting recognized for it. Like, I saw a reel of the guy, I'm just waiting for a mate. Who's your mate? James. That guy, he's like, oh, it's been 15 years, no one will recognize you. And then it just like cuts to I'm just waiting on a mate. It's just him like, fuck, I'll never escape this.
It's like, I saw a podcast, I think, can't remember the guy's name, but it's the guy that plays Jay in The In-Betweeners. And he's like, everywhere I go, it's like bus wanker, walking wanker, dog wanker, getting the train wanker, like all of it. And he's like, it'll never get old. And he's on with his missus, and his missus is like, if you die before me, I'm going to be there. And she'll be like, dead wanker.
I have seen that. And like during it, he's walking down the street and someone drives past and is like, boss wanker.
Yeah, it literally happens.
Like, he just gets it all the time. Yeah, that's fucking crack up, dude.
Imagine that. That's a good level of fame, isn't it? Where you're just getting it all the time.
But everyone loves you as well. Like, there's no level of hate.
Nah, there's no hate for Jay or any of the In-Betweeners guys. Like, imagine just seeing Simon.
So he'd be a good podcast guest.
Yeah, but
if we had any fucking pull at all.
What's the name of the one, the tall one?
Neil,
right? He'd be
class.
No, that's one of the ones you wouldn't want him on ever, because you don't want to see how the fucking steak is made or whatever the saying is.
Yeah,
you just want him to be Neil. You wouldn't want some well-educated fucking cunt coming in and being normal.
No, you get him on as Neil. You'd be like,
you're coming on as Neil.
It's like when Chabuddy G goes on podcast as Chabuddy G.
Yeah,
I got peanut dust here, mate. You want some peanut dust? High quality, mate.
High quality peanut dust.
So good. Fuck yeah. Dun 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 dun.
Yes.
Dun dun dun. On to the news with our well-established anchor, Jack Parry.
Hey.
What headlines do we have today, Jack?
We've got a couple of big ones, to be fair, depending on how deep we want to go. But
how deep do you want to go?
Neuralink human testing trial on a quadriplegic complete.
Holy.
Number 2, a red heifer plus Israel and the end of the days. And then we'll go. I'll do it. We'll do it. Russia have added the LGBT movement to their list of extremist groups and terror organisations.
Wow.
Are we starting with that because it's the last one on the list? Are we going?
We'll dial back to the beginning. I mean, as we work through this, I'll probably format this a little bit better. We should probably do each one as we go, right?
Yeah.
But they're the 3 headlines. Digest them, and we'll come back to the latter
Chew on
two.
that.
Chew on that for a minute. We'll come back to the juicy one at the end. So, Elon released a video this week, or shared a video of his guys at Neuralink. The video is 10 minutes long. Just head to Elon's X page, or even just Google it. It'll come up immediately. They've installed a Neuralink chip in a quadriplegic. The fellow was, I think he was either diving. I think he was a diver.
Yeah, he said it was a freak diving accident.
Yeah, freak diving accident. He's 29. Poor fellow's completely disabled from the shoulders down. They've installed this chip in his head. He loves gaming and hasn't been able to play any games for the last however many years it was. Sorry, I can't remember. And they've installed the chip, and quite literally hearing him talk about getting it to go, they install the chip, he sits at the computer and it turns on, it has a battery life, so it can die, and then he can no longer use it. It's like a mouse almost.
Yeah.
But watching him use it, he's literally summoning brain power to move it. So like,
That's unfucking believable.
He stares at the screen, bro, and moves the mouse with his head.
He's like, it's basically like having telepathic powers.
Yeah. And he literally said he looks at it and thinks, move that mouse, and the mouse moves.
And what he just moves it around. It's like, oh, can you just pause the music real quick?
And he
the cursor just like whips over, opens up a tab, pauses the music, comes back, and he's just sitting there like arms are. He's not moving.
He's not moving at all.
It's unfucking believable, man.
So you know how Stephen Hawking's computer thing was all Twitch based?
Yeah.
Surely this means that they'll be like, you won't need to do that. They'll just be able to like type with their mind, and it will just.
That's insane.
Like, and the bro on Kill Tony as well would be able to.
Oh yeah, without a doubt.
Do shit like
think
that.
about what that means just for work.
For disabilities, mate.
Disabilities, it's insane, but it's going to progress past that to the point where you are looking at a screen. And what you want to type, you are not typing anymore. Keyboard's done, gone. Mouse done, gone. You have a screen, and you are your brain to screen, fucking.
It's incredible.
And the other thing, it's going to be brain to fucking brain.
Yeah,
you're going to be able to submit thoughts.
I'd
be able to fucking telepathic to Paz, fucking send Jake some fucking.
I'm not getting a Neuralink ever. It just gives me the fear. We've
I
talked
see
about
it.
this before.
What if it made you live forever?
If I was quadriplegic and I needed, and it could, then 100%. But I think like
just for having it for the sake,
just like for the sake of it, I'm like I'd rather not have anyone, but like be able to access my brain.
Paz has already applied for the beta test. He wants to be the first one in Wellington.
I'd go for it, but I do see. I mean, I am skeptical, and the concern is obviously having corporations potentially in control of it. I know it's put your tinfoil hats on, but realistically, I mean, how groundbreaking it is for disabilities and for the health of human beings, I guess, is unbelievable. But yeah, I mean, it's definitely scary.
You're pretty mad having to put your head on a charger at night.
Well, it charges on its own.
Fuck.
Yeah, no, it just charges on its own. So you just, while you're not using it, it just charges, like self-charges.
Like a pillow?
Contactless,
you know, like a
pillow,
yeah.
Yeah,
I'm just going to sleep on my charger.
That's interesting though. How does that charge? Because he said he just has to not play it. So he pretty much got all he got excited and was like, look, I stayed up till like 6 a.m. and played Civilization 6 for like the first time in so long. He said he just sat there all night and played it. Couldn't believe how it was working.
Well, surely your brain's got like neurotransmitters for electricity.
It probably charges it off though.
Like
it'll charge itself.
Brain,
I think that's
brain electricity. That's fucking crazy.
I think that must be it, because he said he's like it like told him that it was dying, and then he just let it chill, and then it's charged back up.
So it
Buzzy.
takes brainwaves and it wirelessly transmits them. So my understanding of it when they first like came out and said this is what we're working on, it was many years back, 4 or 5, was that they'd be able to have a receptor, like let's say you break your spine, the guy said like C4 or something, right?
Yeah, two
you have a receptor that's like put into your spine below the break, and from that neural link, you're able to still transmit what would normally be like an Ethernet cable down your back.
Yeah,
like bridge the gap.
Yeah, you're able to do it Wi-Fi and move again.
But I think it's like the bio arms and stuff. So they'll basically just the arm will have a chip in it that is completely controlled by your brainwaves. So you just have it's like having a receiver and a send.
Exactly. Fuck, it's
is it
crazy.
just Bluetooth into the is it to
Good
the
question,
computer?
mate. I don't know.
It's fucking insane.
Yeah, it's pretty crazy.
Are you
so
thinking
cool to be
like
able to
damaging
walk in-
waves to the
Nah,
brain?
not necessarily. But I mean, that could be a thing. I mean, but yeah, you'd imagine it's got to be Bluetooth.
Can you imagine walking into a house and just being like, lights on, fucking fridge.
How big is this
fucking
shit?
everything's.
Oh, it's a good question. I don't know.
I mean, it's not.
It's not going to be very big.
You'd think it wouldn't be that big. But
It's not like a big thing on the back of his head or anything.
No, it's
like,
inside his
Yeah,
head.
it's inside his brain. Yeah, fuck.
It's fucking mental, is what it is.
The training process sounded insane as well.
Yeah, because they just said pretty much. I mean, he's the first one, and they've basically put it in and just gone go.
It's like calibrating a smartboard.
They're like, think about moving left. Like, try and move your hand to the right. And he's like just sending that same command over and over and over and over, and then it recognizes that that's the command to move right. That's the signal that you get, and I guess you just get it more tuned until you can just be like.
Telepathy is insane. When it like, I mean, it's conspiratorial again, I guess, in the way that it could be taken is dark. But imagine not having to communicate with anyone. You're just sitting in a room and you all know what each other are thinking, and you don't even need to open your mouth.
It feels like the logical next step. Like we're already kind of doing it with external devices, right? Like we're doing the same thing with our phone. We're just sending it in a physical form. It's just taking away that extension, having it internal and being able to do the same things.
I don't know. I feel like there's a certain level technology gets to where it'll start evolving we're already there, really, where it'll start evolving for us. Like, we are going to stop evolving. Like, or if anything, devolve
in a different way, right?
Technology doing all the evolution for us. Like, we're not going to need to be.
Well, it's that classic Rogan yarn of like, that's what aliens. The way that we draw an alien is how you'd think that we would evolve with it if we keep going with technology. Essentially, no genitalia, no reason to have much of a body, little body, massive head, because everyth's just coming out your brain.
Hunt, you don't have to lift.
You don't have to do
just
anything.
Involve less muscle mass, which uses less energy, so you're able to.
But the new telepathy thing,
it's crazy that it's here.
Don't really see the, like, I understand, like, obviously it would be cool, but past it being cool, like, what real practical application is there for it? Like, I can just talk to you from here.
People say the same about phones and shit.
Phones are a different kettle of fish completely.
But it's always that, like,
being able to talk to someone far away. Being able, but like you
not having to use that thing, being able to do it in your head.
The yarn that you're posing is age old. Like it's an ancient yarn. Anytime technology comes in, it's like, what purpose have we actually got to use that for? And until we start to discover what its uses are and what the boundaries are of it and how far you can push it and what you can actually utilize by having it, we're not really going to know the answer to that. And because like all of a sudden something will come up and it'll be like, yo, that would be mean if you had that for that. Like, you walk into an office space and like you don't need to log into a computer anymore. You don't even need to be at work anymore. You know, like that kind of thing. It's like you love a home day, right? Working from home. All of a sudden you don't even need to get out of bed. You just lie there.
You can just work.
Do you know what I mean? No, but do you know what I'm saying though?
But
you can access your computer. I'm just thinking this.
Just the telepathy thing. Like, obviously, like when they invented the phone, it just that solved a problem that exists. But like, what is it doesn't. I don't think telepathy currently, like you say, we'd discuss. I'm sure we'd find a problem that it would solve. But me being able to talk to him without you hearing it right now,
it creates more problems than it solves. You reckon?
It's just
possible.
It just means that everyone can just bitch.
Yeah.
Really, and that's like, other than that, I can't really.
It's hard to not look at them in negative manners.
And then, you
know why? Because we're getting fucking old. We're like, I want everything to be how it was when I was 14.
In the day.
Bring back brick phones and no fucking hybrid cars. I don't know. Fuck them hybrid cars.
All right, so moving on to the second headline.
I'm intrigued.
This one's fucking weird.
I've got no idea.
This is wild, right? So I'm going to play a 2-minute video. Right, hang on. Go back to the beginning. This is a 2-minute clip that I'm about to play. And it is of... It's an American news station.
Prepare your brains for this.
In a recent speech, a Hamas spokesman blamed the Jews for bringing red cows to the Holy Land. The cows he's talking about at a secure, undisclosed location are these. Red heifers, to be precise, Some Jews and Christians believe they're the key to rebuilding the historic Jewish temple in Jerusalem and to beckoning the Messiah. To understand, you have to go back nearly 2,000 years when the ancient Romans destroyed the last temple in the city. To rebuild it, these believers point to the Bible's book of Numbers. It commands the Israelites to sacrifice a red heifer without defect or blemish, and that has never been under a yoke. Only then can the temple rise again. Caring for them on an Israeli settlement in the West Bank is Yitzhak Mamo.
So we have here, after a long research, we find in Texas.
In Texas?
Texas, United States of America.
Texas Red Angus, flying them 7,000 miles to Israel. This massive altar already awaits, where the heifers are to be burned. According to some believers, the ceremony needs to be performed right here on the Mount of Olives, looking directly into where the temple once stood. But something else now stands in its place. The Dome of the Rock and Al-Aqsa Mosque, among the holiest sites in Islam. Today, only Muslims are allowed inside. That's not stopping Jewish activists outside.
Once you guys started here.
6 days a week, Melissa Jane Kronfeld leads groups from around the world who defiantly pray, as close as armed guards permit.
It's not about the destruction of Islamic holy sites. It's about preserving this place and being guardians over the house of God for all people.
So you're happy with it where it is?
No, it's going to go 100%. But I believe
It's gonna go.
It's 100%. Yeah, the whole thing is going to go. We have to build a temple.
When you... The infamous October 7
and then
massacre
just at the beginning.
A war. But one confounding yet eye-opening motive has escaped the headlines. In a recent speech, Hamas spokesman blamed the Jews for bringing red cows.
That is back to the beginning.
That is fucked. So the massive mosque
is exactly where the temple once stood and where they want to resurrect the temple.
Explain further why it's so like inflammatory.
Right. So what? So Hamas, pretty much. Hamas. I don't know what he said.
Hamas.
I don't know what he said in his language, but he basically, that speech there is around the 7th. What date was it? October 7th.
Yeah.
The attack, and basically saying that this has got a large part to do with it.
And so one of the main reasons, like one of the most inflammatory parts of them invading in the first place,
is to do with this. So pretty much like the what do you call who are they? Just the Jews, I guess. Or, no,
Israel, the state of Israel.
The state of Israel, the Jews. Are willing to or are looking at just taking down that mosque.
That mosque is in Palestine.
No,
or is in Israel.
In Israel.
One of the holiest sites in Islam.
Well, Israel's got, it's kind of I might be geographically mistaken here, but it's kind of a fuckery. Like 3 of the holiest sites on the face of the earth are all within like pissing distance of each other. You've got that golden mosque. There's the like place where Jesus was supposedly born, which is just down the road. There's the Wailing Wall, which is like the one where like the Hasidic Jews are all like Shavai, like up against the wall. And then
well, Bethlehem's there. That's where Jesus was born. Right?
There's but there's like a building where like this is it, and then but they've built. To be fair, historically they've built on top of each other in that spot for centuries, depending on who's in charge. It's just now they're in charge.
Yeah. But the way that woman spoke about it, like, there's no question, it's coming down.
It's coming down.
Surely someone
they've built an altar. They're gonna sacrifice those fucking heifers.
They're gonna burn them, bro.
They are going. This is like a holy war, isn't it?
Do either
and
of
the
you
end
know?
Of days. I mean, I should have done more due diligence on this prior, but I don't think the end of days is a good story.
No. Do either of you know what under a yoke means? I said red heifers that have never been under a yoke.
I believe
what the fuck does that mean?
I believe it's just like virgin.
I would imagine it is.
Under a yoke.
Bible Gateway numbers 19. This is a requirement of the law that the Lord has commanded. Tell the Israelites to bring you a red heifer without defect or blemish that has never been under a yoke. Give it
under a yoke.
Give it to Eleazar the priest. Be taken outside the camp and slaughtered in his presence. What is a yoke?
Damn.
as a metaphor for bondage or servitude.
Oh, so it's never
So
been.
it's never been someone's
Yeah.
cow.
But it was an American's cow.
Yeah, I mean, it's been owned by 2 different people now.
Maybe it's not owned. Maybe they're like, yo, you can go wherever you want. But
There was a different part. There was that was a shorter video that I found of the same thing, and I'm just going to find the other video. This was 5, and just a quick disclaimer: I hate the fact that this page uses this bloody music behind.
Only then can
This is a longer.
rise again. Caring for them on an Israeli settlement in the West Bank is Yitzhak Mamo.
So we have here, after a long research, we find in Texas.
In Texas?
Texas, United States of America.
Texas
you get your
Red
bop onto that
Angus,
tune, eh?
flying them 7,000 miles to Israel. This is not a publicity stunt.
So what, they believe this will make
What do you
Jesus
mean?
come again?
Meaning, this
they
is
do
something you
realize-
take very
let me-
seriously.
Harry Potter is a good story. The Bible is not story. The Bible is a way of God to lead us.
Is that digging? But a massive altar already awaits where the heifers are to be burned. According to some believer.
Yeah,
Surely they've
Harry
learned.
Potter is good story.
Harry
The Bible is no story.
story.
History has shown us that poking Islam with a big stick leads to not great situations. So surely flattening one of their holiest mosques is probably
Yeah,
going
they're
to
gonna fuck some
radicalize
shit up,
a
yeah.
fair few people that wouldn't have otherwise been radicalized.
I feel like they're past the point of worrying about radicalizing people.
because like
They're
the
just
only,
doing it.
the
They
only
don't
site
care.
more holy than that would be the Kaaba, the
Well, where's
big
Mecca?
rock.
What country is
is it.
Mecca in?
Oh, but it's in that mosque.
That's the rock. That is the Kaaba.
Oh, it's in that mosque.
That is the
Holy
mosque.
fuck.
True.
Where's Mecca? What
That's what he
that is
says.
Mecca. That's where they point. That's where they pray to. They pray
That
in the
big
direction
square-
of that thing. The
the
big
big
square rock
Is it
thing
in there?
is
No,
in that.
no, it's-
apparently.
Oh, is that it?
No,
No, so that's-
Nah.
No, Mecca is not in Israel.
Nah.
Yeah, but Mecca is Mecca not where that big rock? The
Yeah,
big.
but not that.
No,
You're thinking of a
that is
different
called the rock though. That's you're talking about 2 different
Oh,
things, I
right. Is
believe.
it-
God, we sound so
Yeah,
uninformed.
this is uninformed.
We're like the big rock. Fucking look at us. We'll talk. We know nothing.
This is some quick Jamieing this.
Yeah. Silence ensues while we all Google different things.
You just Google Mecca and you get the makeup shop.
I just did the same thing. And then I searched up Mecca location. It's like Lambton Key.
Yeah, no.
Like,
so
what? It's been here the whole time.
what I was saying was right. Yeah, this mosque will be like the second holiest site behind the Kaaba. The Kaaba's in Saudi Arabia.
Right.
Which is the big.
Which
That's
is-
like the
which
big,
is Mecca. That's what they- that's
black
what-
cube with this inscriptions around it.
That's the Islamist religion
It's like, yeah,
praise to Mecca,
yeah.
right?
Which is in Saudi Arabia for the uninformed. Oh, Jake just said that. Didn't he?
Yeah.
Fuck. I just Googled that. So I needed to get my Google search out.
Mate, I asked Kristen where Mecca was, and she had no idea. She said the makeup shop, and then I was like,
Is that what you call your Google? Just Kristen.
yeah, just Kristen.
You renamed Siri to Kristen.
I asked her in person. It was funny. It was a crack up bit of time.
That's a
She
fucking
asked her-
wild story, though.
She asked her sister, and her sister said, "What, the makeup shop as well?" Like, I was like, she was like, "No one will know. No one will know." She asked 2 of her friends. They both said the makeup shop.
My God.
That's kind of sad.
Yeah,
So-
yeah, but isn't it just?
Answer me this, though, Paz. The idea is that, what? You sacrifice the heifers to bring the end of days or to bring Jesus back?
This
or
is
that to, like,
this
get
is
the
bad to have
rapture
not done
going?
any
Like,
end
what?
of days chat. So
Holy
Well,
fuck.
the end of days thing, I reckon, like, it could end up inadvertently, metaphorically coming
my
true.
God.
Like, they do that and it just triggers a massive fucking
war, yeah.
jihad, and it's like the end of days for someone, because I don't know. Yeah, I feel like historically pissing off Islam as a whole has done more harm to the aggressor than good.
Yep. Just 9/11,
Oh,
whatever
shit.
fucking temple they build there.
It's in the book of Revelation. There occurs a great earthquake where the sun becomes black as the sackcloth of hair, and the moon like blood. The stars of heaven fall from the earth, fall to the earth, and the sky recedes like a scroll being rolled up. Every mountain and island is moved out of place.
So earthquakes and eclipse, some fucking meteors. It sounds pretty insane.
Yo, I mean, like that.
Yeah, the Book of Revelation's a pretty cracking read, to be honest. It's
Really?
like the best book.
Well, I mean,
sorry, Christians of the world, but it's definitely one of the more interesting books to read, because there's.
well, I mean,
If you read it as like literal fact, then you're like, this is a bit outlandish and weird. But like, it's very easy to draw metaphors to things that like could
actually
like,
happen.
feasibly happen.
well,
And be like, yep.
I immediately read that and I think of Graham Hancock and I think of the Younger Dryas impact theory.
Yeah, fuck.
Because every 12,000 years or so, whatever, we have a terrible asteroid clash, and we go through the same asteroid belt all the time. But whether there's like a patch that's denser or whatever. But
Yeah.
I mean, if you don't know what that theory is, there's a great documentary on Netflix. What's it called?
It's called Ancient Apocalypse.
That's the one.
It's a
That is
series.
fucking
It's cool. It's very interesting.
He also has a few great podcasts with Joe
Yeah.
where he talks about this shit. He's
and I mean, like, you can poo-poo it. It is what it is, but it's interesting, and there's lots of evidence to suggest that it could be very, very possible.
he gets
and very
like
true.
thrown out by a lot of scientists, but I feel like every person that comes up with big ideas is like laughed at until 100 years after they've been dead.
Yeah.
And then they find out,
Yeah.
oh, here's some actual proof that this is completely correct. What fucking
Well, 'cause
pull
if-
out whoever was saying, and we all laughed at him, killed him.
Yeah.
Well, if they admit that he's right, it makes like
Everything wrong.
500 years of academia worthless.
All the
Yeah,
shit they've
yeah.
been doing their whole lives
Yeah.
is
Yeah,
now like
rendered invalid.
fuck, this one guy just
And he's a
killed us.
journalist. So
yeah.
I think that's what makes it intriguing for me, is that he's not, the fact that he's not come from like necessarily like an anthropological background. He's just like, I'm an investigative journalist,
Yeah.
so I'm going to learn all the things I can, and then I'm just going to apply completely like as unbiased, like neutral, a stance view on what I can see in front of me as possible.
Yeah.
And then I'm going to speak to experts in certain fields.
Well, everything's
figure out an idea.
everything's pragmatic,
Yeah.
right? Like it's viewed under the right microscope, or completely without any bias. You can understand where a bias might come from if your life has been dedicated to a particular field of work.
I think the problem
And if
with
you're
this
not-
theory is that it's such a great, interesting story,
Oh,
and
yeah.
that makes you want to be like, "Fuck, nah, man!" Like it's almost too good to be true. Like
Yeah,
it's so
yeah.
interesting. There's so many things about it that are like captivating.
Yeah.
That it's like
Yeah,
can't be
how
real,
that?
could it? Like,
It's crazy.
Yeah.
All the fucking underground like cities that have been built that like they're just discovering parts of or have and have given them like these people were weird, they lived underground. Why the fuck were they making cities that dense underground? What
So
were they
the-
hiding from?
The idea was
Like
that there were like global civilizations before our global civilization. Yeah.
Yeah, potentially
Yeah.
multiple
Yeah,
variations.
Yeah, Atlantis, all the rest of it.
Well, Atlantis is such an interesting one.
There's
as
some
well.
fucking sick documentaries on Atlantis.
And that
Those two
giant-
fellas,
yeah.
again, apologies for not recalling their names, but there's two guys that went on Joe. They've got a great. You'll find them if you start digging Atlantis on YouTube. But the Richard structure in
Yeah, dude.
where is it? It's
Is it off like
It's in the
South
Mediterranean.
America?
Isn't it?
Oh yeah.
nah. It's in Africa.
Okay.
Is it?
Richard
Oh, yeah,
structure.
yeah,
It is because the Mali Empire.
Yeah.
It was.
That's exactly what I was thinking
So
before.
it's just south of the Atlas Mountains.
Yeah.
And the last king of Atlantis was called Atlas.
Yeah.
And then if you look at the Richard structure,
The circles.
it's the
That one
circles.
is
and it's
so fucking interesting.
bruh, look at it.
It's one of the craziest things. They reckon it could have been one. Like there are stories about like this great city that had like huge pools of water surrounding
Rings,
it, like
yeah.
rings of water, and
Rings of
that
gold,
is-
and it
that's
looks
gotta
exactly
be it,
like
right?
it. It'd be good when we get some visuals on this
Yeah.
to actually be able to bring it up.
Just
You can
Google it. What was it called?
The Richat structure. It's
Yeah.
the Richat. It's RICHAT.
Yeah,
structure.
that's a really good rabbit hole to fall down for an afternoon.
Yeah, I know.
That one is fucking sick.
And reading up on the Mali emperor.
Wasn't he like the richest person
Richest
there's
person
ever been?
ever.
Yeah.
Had the most gold ever. In that area of Africa, they found the most gold. And he had it all.
He was like fucking 50 times richer than the
Anybody.
equivalent of Elon Musk now.
Balling.
Or like, yeah, fuck. All right, what about that next next headline, Paz? Let's go. We're moving on from fucking red heifers being burned at the stake like witches.
Into Russia, adding the LGBT movement to their list of extreme organisations and terror.
And this is where we play the Andrew Tate disclaimer. Everything we say is a lie. We're all a bunch of idiots. Jack really loves Greta Thunberg and Jacinda Ardern.
Maybe there's just not a great deal of press coverage out of Russia, though. What if, like, in Russia, they've been added to the extremist list, like, maybe they are just extremely gay there. So.
Oh my god. But when you look at it though, like, what does Russia deem extreme? Like, you protest in the street, you're an extremist that gets dragged and put in a gulag. You know, it could be about anything.
Well, they're fundamentally, like, I mean, maybe it's not quite the case as much, but like, they're Orthodox Christians. Like, so shock that they're not that keen on the old LGBTs.
It's a funny thought of like some green mohawk guy with nipple clamps on and a chain running in with a suicide vest.
Yeah, it's funny. It's funny because you think of it.
Hands up, flick.
You just think of extreme and immediately just think of a fucking like a bomb strap, you know. Like, but like
that's the terrorist bomb.
But yeah.
He just turns up into the Russian parliament with glitter bombs. Gotcha.
We're making this place fabulous. Holy shit! I knew we were gonna get bad.
The carpets in here are tired.
Assless chaps and a dog collar. Yeah. I'm sorry.
Glitter bombs in unreal.
But yeah, I don't know. It seems interesting. Like the timing of it all, as well. Post overwhelming election success. I think it was like 87% of the population voted for Putin. It's like, wonder how many of that 87% had a Glock in the back of their neck when they voted.
Yeah, I wonder if their votes are even real. Like, no one actually goes, they make it up. Fucking.
Yeah.
Yeah,
and you don't want to question it.
Lots of people are going there at the minute and saying it's great.
Well, like, Russia?
Yeah, there's loads of it. I mean, it's become a thing now. So, like, obviously people want to debunk everything all the time or, like, try and figure stuff out. And everyone's seen the fucking Tucker Carlson interview. And if you've not, then whatever. And whatever you think of it, whatever. But people are going over there now and, like, doing their own investigational journalism, essentially. But it's not. It's just going on holiday to Russia.
Yeah.
And they're documenting their time there and stuff. And there's lots of them on X. And, I mean, there's no homeless. Because they probably got murdered.
Shut up. We've all seen the Crocodile documentary.
What's that?
Fucking, have you not seen that?
Oh, I mean,
right,
okay,
like,
yeah.
They've got as fucked up shit as everywhere else.
Outside of the cities.
Yeah.
I think I'm talking like in cities.
That's probably because they're rounded up and summarily shot.
Yeah.
It's really hard to be.
Or just sent to Siberia, right? Like they're just pushed north.
Do you have house?
No. Oh.
Go cut trees in
Gulag.
Siberia.
You must go gulag.
And mysteriously die for no reason.
Yeah.
Da?
The gulag sounds unsound, by the way.
Yes.
They were talking about that on a Rogan I was listening to the other day, and like pretty much you go there to die. Like you go there to work until you die, and you are told that that's what's happening to you too. Like you're aware of the fact that you have to work as hard as possible until you die.
It's modern death camps.
It's 100%. Yeah.
Russian Auschwitz.
Yeah.
Without the.
Oh, you forget how fucked humans can be. Like, we're so sheltered from it all. Like, violence is real.
Yeah.
Cunts are out there just fucking whipping people all day for a job.
Yeah.
And they're completely sound with it. And they're a person just like you or me, just in that situation.
And then they're labeling those same people. So they're sending these people to go, like, are the ones labeling the LGBT community extremists.
Yeah.
What do you have to do to qualify to be an extremist?
That's what I thought. Like, what do they have to do? Is it just because it's not part of the narrative the government wants to push?
Oh, almost certainly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like, sad, bro. It'd be tough being in that group of outside of the hetero normal kind of lifestyle in a country that's just like die for it.
Yeah.
Or fucking illegal. Like what? Is it Nigeria or well, I think it's that country that's like 98% voted yes, to like put people in jail for being gay.
Really?
Yeah. But that might be an exaggeration. It's something exorbitantly high, and it's like Ethiopia or Nigeria. Nigeria is incredibly religious.
What are you gay?
I saw an interview with the
he eat the poo-poo. They have a process. It is called feasting.
I think it was like one of the leaders of Nigeria, or it was a country where like a vote like that had just been passed, and they interviewed him, and he was like, "Bro, like obviously I'm paraphrasing, but he was like, bro, fuck off. Like, this is our culture. This is the way it's always been here.
Yeah.
Like, stop trying to westernize us. Like, you want to give, like, let all this happen, sound. But we believe in this, and blah, blah, blah. And you're like, that's cursed. Like, let people do whatever they want. But then also, you're kind of like, I mean, it kind of fair.
You are letting people do whatever they want.
Yeah.
If everyone's voting for it. That's what they want.
I mean, at what point?
Yeah, but if you're the 2%, you're the 2%.
Yeah,
like,
yeah, fuck.
At what point is it just accepted and not like paraded? And the parade can be discontinued. Like, I just mean, like, at what point is it complete?
Yeah. Well, it's tough. It's for so many things as well. Like, even women's rights has that whole thing still going on.
But like,
I don't know if ever.
I feel like women have got it pretty good. Well, now anyway, like not once upon a time, but I feel like it's
but that's again, it comes from the country we live in.
Well, equality and inequality are perceived individually. They're subjective to each person. So most of the world could be like, oh yeah, we're all chill with each other, and if there's a few people that are like, I don't feel like I'm being, see me, please. Other people will be like, oh well, if they get to be seen, I don't know, it's pretty cursed.
But I think there'll always be a level of division with it, or inequality, because we aren't fucking, I'm not going to say we aren't equal, but we're different. Like there's never going to be the same viewership in women's basketball as there is in men's. Like, they are just superior athletes. You can't. It's not a diss. It's a fact. And like that's what it is. There's always going to be differences. So it's never going to be the same. It's just like how much of an acceptance will it have to take, or
is it gonna, like, similar to, say, like, use the men's 100-meter running for example. Like, they said that they could never do like a sub 10-second run, and eventually it's happened. But women's sports has been
booming now.
Been behind for so long that now, like, they're just like in a sporting aspect anyway, not in terms of like general societal equality, but in sports they'll have all the provisions that men's sport have had for a long enough period, that they have like these just like athletes that are female that have had like the exact same caliber of training facilities, equipment, that they will be just better.
Yeah, that's true.
Oh,
like, it will level out.
Certainly, it's got so much room for growth. But I mean, again, I was talking to Google Kristen about this the other day, and like, it's like you look at that Leah Thomas. Leah Thomas was like bang average swimmer in the men's, coming like, she was like they was like 400 and something in the men's swimming, and then went through started the hormone changing process and whatever, started taking on the procedure, started swimming women's, and was like 2-3 seconds faster than the women. Like, that's a lot in swimming to be like 2-3 seconds faster.
Huge.
That's a fucking enormous distance. That's lengths faster. So like, the equivalent, like, it's like, I've lost my trail of my point. But essentially there is a gulf, and that gulf might get closed a little bit, but the men are still going to keep getting better too. There's always going to be quite a gulf.
I think the answer is different sports. Like, it's always been like, women are far exceeding men in gymnastics, all kinds of different sports where that's where they get the viewership. That's where everyone goes towards. So like, promote that more. Make that a bigger thing. Make netball bigger. Like, fucking know, something that's actually female dominated, rather than trying to be as equal in male dominated sports. Maybe, I don't know.
But there's
that's a cursed
good
chat as well.
There's cursed yarns for sure, but I like, it's great to see them progressing and growing. Like it's only a good thing for everybody, really. Like
100%.
It's
I mean, the Women's World Cup here was
unreal.
It was great. That first game where NZ drew or beat Spain. Was it Spain?
I can't
remember either. But that was one of the best games of football I've ever watched. And I sat down like pretty not into it just because like I was certain they were going to get rolled.
Rewind.
Yeah.
No, but it was exciting as hell, bro.
Yeah. I'm with you.
It was like on a technical level, not the best thing I've ever seen.
But just exciting.
But like that's comparing it to watching Man City play, bro. Like they are fucking outrageous.
Yeah, it's like watching.
But watching that was fucking like the header was just like I was bouncing off the wall when they scored.
Properly emotional sport.
Yeah, it was brilliant. I saw the chick walking down the street like 2 days later. I was in awe, just like holy fuck.
That's her.
That's sorry. On that note,
that's some cursed yarn.
It is cursed yarn, so apologies if we've offended anyone.
Yeah,
I'm sure we have. We usually do. We're good at it.
It does segue nicely
into so we have a new segment that we're testing out here. It's called Lightning or Frightening. And what we're going to do is we're going to go down the route of bringing up some advertisements that we've seen or been hit with during our week, and see whether said advertisement is lightning or whether it is in fact frightening. So I've had one completely chambered and ready to just fire off. I got hit with an advertisement for toe socks. I want to know if you think that's lightning or frightening.
What's the point?
They are fucking frightening. I'm just going to say it. They are the scariest things.
If we had, it goes back to the chat we've had about having a couple more thumbs on our feet. But like, if we had thumbs on our feet and we could utilize them, and we'd need to cover them. You know, like we'd be using them. They'd be getting chapped. They'd be getting sore. You know, we'd be climbing around, just hanging from door frames and shit.
Toe socks and Pez are like, yeah, but if we had an extra thumb on our feet.
But if toe socks are like the gloves of your feet, does that not make socks mittens?
Oh,
foot mittens.
Foot mittens.
So I think the idea is that they feel really like good. But if you saw, like, you've seen people walking around with those shoes, they're like rock shoes or something. They're like, and they have the toe.
Ones
they've got the toe things are built into the shoes.
Yeah.
Walking around in that, and you just want to punch them.
I can't see how anybody's going to think these are lightning.
Well, I can't believe it.
Yeah, I mean, I've not seen a pair of toe socks since like
the last pair that you owned.
Child,
yeah, I remember them as a kid.
My auntie had like a pair of like toe socks that had like, they were just like big fluffy like pajama socks sort of buzz, but they had toes. It was weird.
Apparently they're like very, very comfortable. Like they feel better. But like, what if you have really long toes?
Would they be good for a trampoline?
What?
You know, like when you go on the trampoline with socks on and your socks come off.
Okay, I can see what
So my thought also was seeing that, I was like, $1 million idea. Obviously we all play football. Toe football boots. There you go.
Man.
Fuck, we've broken the game here.
No.
I'll submit that one to Adidas and we'll be living in mansions.
I'll take an Apache and
you
an
imagine?
AC-130, please.
We'll have the LGBT version that's just one different colour on each toe, like a rainbow.
An AC-130 Angel of Death.
That could be my payment.
All right, toe socks. We've concluded, in fact, frightening.
Yes, frightening. Stamp.
If you own a pair of toe socks, get them in the bin, buy some foot mittens like the rest of us.
All right, we're moving on to a more R18 advertisement here. And I have no idea why this would be advertised to someone like me, you know. But it was. We're talking a massage gun, you know, those like, what are they, Theraguns, you know. But on the end, no. There's no little fucking massage thing. There's a phallus, a rubber phallus on the end.
Big cock.
Have you seen how fast those things fucking move?
Gunny.
That thing will kill you.
What, you want to use it? if you looked at that and gone, oh God, imagine that.
It does draw, I was thinking this the other day, is like, you've got your algorithm that, like, gives you shit, but what fucking drugs is the guy in charge of the Timu algorithm on?
Yeah, it was on Timu as well.
It's never anything you've even remotely close to what you've Googled, Like, but...
You say that.
Have you been... I
can confirm, I've never Googled anything quite close to that.
Not even a normal massage gun?
I had a massage gun and the charger died. So there was a point where I'd been Googling trying to get a new charger. And maybe...
That thing
just
will fucking
maybe
charge you up.
Yeah. You imagine, it'd be like, it sound like starting up a chainsaw in your bedroom.
We need...
Dirty Mike and the gang got some techno upgrades.
I feel like we're not the three people to really give this too much judgment. We need a proper ass bandit. we need
a proper ass bandit in here.
We need some diversity on the line.
We need someone who loves it up the batty, and then we could see.
And what we do, we purchase these items and we're like, all right, off you go, yeah? Judging on that reaction, I would say it is in fact frightening. In fact, I knew already.
You're
going lightning?
I'm going lightning.
Lightning.
I mean...
I feel like people would love that.
The easy way to judge it, though, is if it turned up at the door with your name on it, unannounced, and you just opened it, would your response be, oh, yes, or would it be, oh, fuck, shit?
Wait, is it out of the packet?
Well, you've opened the box. Like, so
you've got it in hand.
Yeah, and you just, like... What's your immediate response? Is it like, yo, or is it, oh,
I might be changing my tune here.
Where's the lube?
That would be the funniest thing to pull out and just like chase someone around the house with. Or can you imagine turning up to a footy game? So you're like, oh, does anyone have a fucking massage gun? You pull one out with a black tick on the end and just...
Imagine how much better my profile picture would have been if it was that massage gun in my hand instead of that drill. Cruising around sight with the ass blaster 5000.
I mean, if security guards had that instead of a fucking taser or something, you'd be well more afraid.
Or there'd be some people dead set on getting arrested.
Shout out my bro, my bro's brother, Mez. His name's James, but we used to call him Mez because the back end of James is Mez.
Is he an ass bandit?
Nah, his gamer tag was Ass Baster because he couldn't have Ass Blaster because it was already taken, and he didn't see the reference. Like, he didn't get it. Like, it was just funny.
Ass Baster.
Ass Baster.
All right, we're gonna go lightning. I think, in fact, with that, it's been changed.
I'm going frightening. That thing turns up in the post, I'm shitting my pants.
I'd think it'd be pretty funny.
I think it'd be great.
I'd have
you could have some fun with that, would you?
Yeah.
Drill her in the head.
Yeah, like, not actually as a genuine sex toy, just as a tool of terrorism.
Oh fuck. Okay, we got one more. It's a pistol, a water pistol. Sorry, that looks exactly like a real Glock.
Oh, mean. So you can rob shops but not actually have to shoot anyone.
And just
you just get shot.
That's it. You're gonna die with that.
It's literally you're gonna. It's a getting shot tool.
I saw a reel where this exact
it's a tool for suicide by cop.
Yeah.
This guy went in with like what looked like a legit like Glock. Goes into like, I think like
he probably bought it off Temu.
A petrol station, like, and goes to hold it up. And the camera, impeccable CCTV, you see him like do that, and he puts the gun to the side, and then just like you see like just water piss out the front of it, and the guy in the shop just reaches down and blasts this gun, blows him away.
And that's it.
But
that's all she wrote.
You if you're doing that shit in America, you need a real gun.
Yeah,
expect to die.
Well, exactly. You need a real gun because. Quite simply, like everyone's gonna have one. So if you pull a fake one out and someone pulls a real one out, you're dead.
You're now fucked.
The question of that one though is, if you see the water coming out the end of it and then you shoot him with a real gun, is it still self-defense? Because you know it's like, a water.
It's through fear. I was about to say, can anybody recite the amendment to defend yourself?
It depends on the state. You have like stand your ground states. You have states where you can just shoot someone that enters your property.
Breaking an entry. You can shoot someone breaking.
You're being held up. You are self-defense. There's some states that are like that's manslaughter or like whatever. They're all different.
Yeah,
but definitely Florida, you can just kill a motherfucker.
Really?
If they come on your land.
Oh right, yeah. No, if they
have like the stand your ground.
Feeling fearful, right? If someone
you just
comes
have to
at
say
you,
exactly that. You just have to say you were fearful.
I was scared.
Yeah.
The Second Amendment protects the right to keep and bear arms a well-regulated militia being necessary to the security of a free state. So it kind of allows militias, which is...
It's mad. It's
cool.
a kind of a good idea of
But
like,
it varies
you should be able to overthrow a government if they're not doing
What
what
they
you
should
believe
do.
that you should be, they
100%,
should
yeah,
be
yeah.
doing. You should fucking rise up.
It's what the frogs are good at.
Yeah, it is. I saw
very.
another. I remember you bringing that up in an earlier podcast, but I saw the fucking MPs, whatever they call them in France, going into Parliament. Hundreds of builders turn up and brick them in, like build a fucking wall out of fucking like they. What do you call it? A bricklayer.
Yeah, brick and mortar.
They built a fucking wall and walled them in.
they're
They built a brick wall and just fucking locked them in there. Like, fuck off.
We make a baguette and we wall them in.
They're all sitting back smoking cigarettes while they try to climb this wall. Like, these politicians, they climb, they never reach the top. That went a bit Spanish in the end. My apologies.
My favourite French thing is that baguette just means stick, and Harry Potter has a magic wand, but they don't call it like le wand magique. They call their magic wands baguette magique.
And that's how they get all those fucking foreign birds in
Harry
there.
Potter's got a magic baguette.
That's why we call them French sticks, right?
Fleur Delacour, she'd get a fucking baguette magique.
Fuck me.
And now, sports. Fresh off the press this morning, England 0, Brazil 1.
I watched.
Did you say 9?
1?
1.
Endrick scored.
And you went for a German
he's
with
like a
us.
little
17-year-old Endrick.
Really?
A 60 million signing that went to Real Madrid there. Or he's not
Holy
gone yet.
fuck, there's another one.
Yeah, Superstar just announced
Where do they
himself
come
in
from,
Europe.
man? Where are they breeding these kids? 17 comes on, fucks up. That England squad looks unbelievably
Well, you look at the
strong as
favelas
well.
in Brazil. Surely what England needs to create a superstar team is just more poverty.
They've got a lot of
Yeah.
that.
They've got quite a bit. And Marcelo's there, which adds to it.
Just makes everything worse.
Makes everything worse.
Fuck you, Marcelo. I know you're not listening.
Fuck you, dog.
The other big. Well, there's two big results actually. Not really big results, but two big stats. So Florian Wirtz, I think his name is, or just Wirtz,
Yeah,
that plays for
Florian Wirtz.
Germany, scored a goal in 7 seconds for Germany, which was the fastest goal ever scored by Germany. But nobody cares about that because Baumgartner scored a goal for Austria against Slovakia in 6, and it's the fastest goal in international football history.
What, on the same fucking day?
Same round of fixtures.
Unreal. Baumgartlinger.
He's like, whatever you do, I do better. Bitch.
I will squash you.
My Marcelo is there.
But the first round of friendlies have just kind of led me to believe that international breaks are shit.
Well, this one in particular, because no one's playing for anything. It's just friendlies.
And just injuring people. Scotland
just
got
friendlies?
battered.
It's just two friendlies. There's no qualifiers now.
Yeah.
Or there might be, but
injuries
there's
as well.
none of the big teams are. Yeah.
God,
Scotland played Holland and were playing well for 70 minutes, and then at 70 minutes they all just decided to have a tea break and got spunked on by Holland. We had like more shots on target, all the business, lost 4-0.
The England game was a joke. I mean, they just weren't playing. No one was trying. There was no intensity to it whatsoever. Everyone was just
almost like a little break,
It's
isn't it?
literally. It's just
Yeah,
an
let's
easy.
go off with our
the
English
league- and most of the-
football friends.
Most of the players in the England team are, like, for the most part, are in teams that are fighting for titles, and if they're in the Prem, is probably going to be one of the closest title races in years.
Shit, definitely.
And
is.
there's-
Oh, yeah, it is. Yeah.
And so and they're all so City and Arsenal have both got Champions League and the tight Prem. Liverpool have got whatever dog tournament they're in, the Europa League and the league.
I think the only two players in the England lineup that don't really have to care and could have put 10 out of 10 in, but they didn't. It was Anthony Gordon and Ben Chilwell. The rest of them, all of them, are in some kind of fight for Europe or the title.
Yeah.
Every single one, or like even Bellingham for Real Madrid.
It's mad seeing Gordon, man. That guy has blown up.
He's
Like,
mean.
He
He's so
looks like a
fast.
little rat that
He
they
does.
found on the street. Now, like, kick this ball.
Kick
All
his-
right, we'll fucking take you under our
Fucking
wing.
kick his mate.
He's living the dream, bro.
He
Like,
is.
a kid from Newcastle.
Nah, he's fucking
He's
Scouser, isn't he?
Yeah, I know, I knew
Fucking
that.
Scouse
I don't
lad.
know why I said that. But fuck, mate.
Fucking Anthony Gordon kid.
Playing for the Toon.
He wasn't blessed with good looks, though.
Speaking
Jesus.
of the Toon, further sports news.
Oh yeah, do we do a tune rap each
Oh,
week?
that'd be sick. I like that.
Surely.
Yeah,
So do you want
Still
to
injured.
get it out of the way early doors, or should we get the rest of the roundup done before we announce?
Hey, we're here now.
there's a dent in a crossbar in a. There's a dent in a crossbar on a pitch at Ole Academy, courtesy of me, from a
off.
penalty. Now we lost 5-2 or 4-2. I think it was 5, but people were saying 4. I don't actually remember. To be fair, it was just a pre-season game. Last one before the season starts this Saturday. Big day
Holy
coming up.
shit, we are on.
We are
Is it
on.
at home?
Bring on
Nah,
the
it's
cat
away
cream.
at Petone.
Oh, we're gonna spank them.
Oh,
who knows?
Yeah,
You got to come in confident, or what are you?
you got to come in confident. You have. There's stuff we've got to iron out this week for sure.
Without a doubt.
Like,
Like my fucking hamstring.
no, you can just get in the bin.
Yeah,
You can
you're
fuck off
made
as
of
well
wheat.
with that. You're not even playing short.
Yeah, well, yeah, I'll be back soon.
Yeah. And
You-
Paz,
no,
explain
you're-
to the viewers or listeners, sorry, why you aren't playing.
So I've got a potty mouth.
I explained this. I was talking Seaton football. This is gonna translate badly to this lass I was chatting to last night. And
Chatting to.
and she was like, oh, so like how did the season go at the end? And I was like, well, it had a pretty good end. One of the flatmates achieved the miracle of being
Unthinkable.
red carded twice in a game, and she's like, what did he do? And I was like, well, he did something and got red carded, and then when he got red carded, he called the ref a fat useless cunt, and he got red carded again. She was like, that's fair. Like, I can see both sides of that one.
If anybody from Capital Football is listening, I'm not laughing.
But in defense of my boy
really
Paz,
sorry.
It's a serious
that guy
matter.
was a fat useless. Like there's refs that like they're dicks. This guy has like mastered the art of a power trip.
Yeah.
Like, such a dickhead. Like there's no need to be such a dickhead.
Nah, he's.
Like why do you walk around in life and just be a cunt?
I don't share the same beliefs as Connor. And again, Capital
Andrew
Football,
Tate
if you're listening,
disclaimer.
Me and Turner were talking about this when I think it was that game at the hut where with the really mean pies, and
Oh, yeah.
we were saying like seeing the refs.
That's where
like,
it was.
These geriatric refs just like doing like their warm ups and stuff, and just how seriously taking it. It's like, bro, you walk most of the pitch. You don't run.
Some of the refs we have put it in. Some of them are just mad. It's the egotistical bullshit that's crazy.
That's
Like,
the real problem, man.
it's the Mike Deans of like amateur football, you know, like the ones that they make it about themselves.
Yeah.
What are you doing?
Nothing.
Scratchy, scratchy, sniffy, sniffy. Is he gonna sniff that?
My balls was hot. Got let dogs out. Woo, woo.
Dear.
No more sport chat? No.
Betty swallows.
I don't think there was really anything else good in sport. I haven't seen any UFC to comment on.
Nah, it
But there
was a
probably
fight
was
week,
a
wasn't it?
fight. I bet someone won.
It's
said
just
fight.
the build up to 300 now. The only
Yeah.
thing that's come out new about that is like, so historically they've always put out like a cool poster for like UFC 100, 200, and the UFC 300. It's like bro made it on Canva, like, and didn't give a fuck. It's just there's no like names of the fighters on it. It's just UFC 300 color backgrounds, and they're like
That's
trying to
'cause
sell these
they're
posters.
still trying
to
to get fucking fights. Are they still trying to announce fights? They're still trying to like lock something big in.
I think they've got it all locked in. It's just everyone's kind of like
I've fallen off of
underwhelmed
UFC,
a bit
man.
with
I've
it. Like,
fallen off. I used to be so like I knew everything. I watched all the fucking undercard, prelim, fucking all the Dana White Contender Series fights. Didn't miss a fucking thing. And just it's
And now
kind of,
Jamal
to me,
Hill's
it's kind of
headlining
fallen down,
300.
bro. It's kind of lost its edge. It seems far more commercialized. You know, they push that kind of like Logan Paul, Jake Paul prime shit, and it's like you just look at it like, fuck, man. Maybe Bellator's the one.
well, there's definitely a case to be made for that, like for Bellator and One Championship just being more. If you're a fight fan, UFC is kind of slipping in that department. There's only like realistically like 2 or 3 divisions that anyone actually gives a fuck about.
Problem is the superstars become superstars and realize they don't need UFC anymore.
Yeah, and they get knocked out by Anthony Joshua.
It's stupid, man. They become a superstar and then they're like, I can do everything else now and not fight. Look at Conor McGregor. Man's got to superstar status and just thought, I'm going to do cocaine now non-stop. And he's become a fucking movie star. They bring him on camera and he's just as
did you see? Did you see that?
There was another one that came out yesterday.
Yeah, no.
He's sitting next to Jake Gyllenhaal, and he's just twitching, bro, like involuntary coke spasms. Like
the fight's been announced. McGregor's fighting Chandler in June.
He's finally fighting Chandler.
Really?
I think I'm not sure whether it's a catchweight bout or a welterweight bout, but
he's undoubtedly
going to lose his head. He's going to get his head chopped off.
Chandler's a killer, bro, and McGregor's been out the game.
But you say that, but John Jones was out the game for donkeys, and also on Mad Talk Benders, and he came back and stomped. But John Jones is John Jones.
Yeah,
John Bones Cones.
McGregor's coming back steroided up, so I mean, I can't talk. I said Ngannou was going to win that boxing fight, and I'll still never live that down.
Yeah, you know nothing, Jon Snow.
I know nothing. They eat the poo-poo.
But that's going to be one of that fight. Not in terms of like actual who cares about it, but just in terms of like viewership, that fight, the Tyson Paul fight, and the Fury Usyk fight are going to be the biggest, like most viewed fights of the year. They put it on Netflix. You say that, but you're going to watch it.
I'm going to watch it, but it's going to be out of fucking hate. And that's the worst thing. That's what Jake Paul markets himself on, is the hate of it all. You watch because you're hoping, you're just praying that he'll get hurt. But motherfucker never does. He's fighting a 63-year-old man who, granted, it's Mike fucking Tyson. He looks pretty fucking good. But you watch that fight where he fought old mate a couple years back, and he just looked kind of, he was old.
Yeah.
He's now 5 years old, 4 years older.
I'm intrigued to see what the rules are, if it's like a proper boxing match, if it's an exhibition thing where it's like...
Nah, Jake's wearing headgear, Mike's not. You heard about that?
What?
No way.
Yeah. That's facts.
No, it's
way.
not.
Mm-hmm.
There's no way they do that. That can't be real.
Yeah, go on.
That's got to be a piss take so that he can be later on like, you know what? I'm Jake fucking Paul, man. I'm taking off the headgear.
Yeah. I hope he gets knocked the freak out, but he's not.
You know what's going to happen? I reckon he's going to knock Tyson out.
Mike Tyson's going to move around that ring like a 56-year-old man.
That's taking 10 years off him.
Alleged headgear rule for Jake Paul versus Mike Tyson is fake news, is the first article.
Taz got fake news. It's not just me.
I got run books.
Oh, man.
It's looking increasingly likely to be a professional fight.
Oh.
Yo.
Just ruined Tyson's record.
Nah.
He's going to lose. He's fighting Jake Paul.
I mean...
He's going to lose. He's 63.
No, he's not. He's 57. Or 56.
And
that's still old as fuck. The 40-year-old, like a fighter hits 40 and they're like far worse. Like that.
I don't know.
That's not always true, Glover Teixeira, but it's often the case.
Mayweather.
56, it doesn't matter. Anything after 55 and it feels like you're just sending a lamb to the slaughter.
If the lamb wasn't built like a brick shithouse and called Mike Tyson, then...
Who else? He knocked out Askren. He knocked out fucking Tyson Woodley. Like, he can knock people out, and he's fighting an old man.
Nah.
Come on,
they're
bro.
all littler. They're all smaller than him.
Askren and Woodley.
Have you seen the size of Woodley?
Jake's a cruiserweight.
Woodley is huge.
Jake was bigger than him.
Still smoked him.
Yeah, but
still a fucking
killer. I think all
we've
proved with that shit is that UFC fighters are not good at fucking boxing.
That's true.
And you're listing...
But they're also not fucking in their late 50s.
But you're listing people that he's knocked out, and like, if you're listing people that he's knocked out, you can't just not list anyone that Tyson's knocked out just because it was 20 years ago. He's knocked out the baddest motherfuckers on the face of the earth.
It was longer than 20 years ago. It was 35 years ago.
Yeah, that's true.
That's ages.
My money's on Tyson.
I think you want a little cheeky bet?
Yeah, go on then.
Yeah, what are you saying? $100?
Says that Tyson smokes him.
I'll say Jake Paul's got it in the bag.
Jake's going to win, man. It's going to be a longevity thing. He's just going to stay away from him for the first 2 rounds, and Tyson's going to get nothing.
How many rounds did he gas out?
Who did he fight in that last fight?
It was insane. Tyson literally...
super tired.
He's like a 57-year-old man, for fuck's sake. He's got the gas tank of
all I'm hearing is Jake don't want that smoke.
First round
Jake
defeat.
don't want that smoke.
Talking of quick segue. Well, it's going to be a permanent segue. But talking of absolute fucking legends and baddest motherfuckers in the game.
Here we go.
Alexander Dober canoed the Pacific 3 times.
Oh, yeah.
Right? Canoed it. Looks like a legend as well, the picture of him. And then climbed Kilimanjaro. And at the top, posed for a picture and just went to sleep and died. Completed it. Logged off.
It's probably the sickest way to go.
It's cool as fuck.
Get
What
to
a
the
guy.
top, sit down, make a tea, have a sip, off you go.
He just posed for a picture. There's a picture of him, smiles, and then just nodded off.
I mean, I'm sure his like fiance or whatever he had will be like, not sick.
Yeah, nah.
But
Have you seen there's another geezer like that. He's like a whitewater kayaker, and he's
Jake
like
knows all the
done like
kayakers.
There's like 5 rivers that go off like this mountain in Asia somewhere that are all like just varying levels of death. And he had done all but 4 of them, and then was like in some accident
done
or something
one.
like that.
All but
And-
4.
Oh, sorry, all but one of them. Sorry, and done all but one of them, and then was in like some sort of accident, and then managed to get his shit together, and did the 5th one, and then did like a series of hikes. And I think he wanted to climb like some like mountain in Antarctica or something like that. Antarctica. It's a documentary on Netflix. It's actually buzzy, but similar sort of thing. Just like crazy motherfuckers just doing.
It's cool as hell. There was a documentary film festival here like a year or 2 ago at the Roxy. I went to one. The guy was there at the front. He like did a little fucking chat about everything, and then we watched the movie. And he kayaked. Kayaked. Not rowing, but like actual just paddle from Indonesia to Australia. Got his shit across all of Australia, and then tried to do the Tasman twice, and both times he got fucking capsized in the middle of the fucking like ocean. He had to be airlift rescued and shit. And he was like, we're talking to him afterwards. He's just in the theatre like taking questions. We're like, "Are you doing it again?" He's like, "I'm training right now. We're going back. We're doing it again." The boat costs like 150k.
Yeah.
He's got to like live in it.
Yeah. Oh, I've seen interviews of that guy actually.
It's like it's such a mad piece of ocean. Like you can't. It's unpredictable.
Yeah.
And like the tide or not tide, the currents are so strong that like you can get to a point if they're not with you, and that just randomly happens.
Yeah.
That you just can't do it.
Yeah.
You gotta
Because
get
they need
lucky.
to aim for like miles in the wrong direction, and the current
Just pulls you around. Yeah.
But
Insane, bro. It's so cool that there are people out there doing that kind of shit. Like I'd be so cool to just have the money and be able to dedicate yourself to an endeavor like that. Be like, I'm gonna climb fucking mountains. I'm gonna swim the Cook Strait, or like some cool shit. I spoke to someone that swam the Cook Strait. I can't remember who it was.
Is that a thing? Because like that's the thing in the UK is like the big like David Williams did it, swam the Channel from England to France.
Yeah.
But like swimming the Cook Strait is way more gnarly than
It's
that.
dangerous as hell, but lots of people have done it.
True.
Yeah.
Because I've always thought it would be cool to try and like paddle across it, but the current is nuts. You need to literally aim for Australia, and you might end up in Nelson.
I'm trying to think of who I was speaking to that. Honestly,
You end up in Argentina.
I'm pretty sure it was actually someone off Tinder that had come to this city, and they were swimming, like they were doing all these big swims around the world, and they were here to swim the Cook Strait.
True.
Yeah,
Really?
yeah, that's exactly what it was.
We've got another. Whether you want to call him great or not, he was Alexander the Great. And when Alexander the Great's body did not decompose 6 days after his death, ancient Greeks were in awe. This made loyal followers believe he was a god, but he was paralysed by a rare brain disorder unknown at the time, which caused him to suffer a terrible death for a week. And he died. There's a fact checker thing on it that basically says that he was not buried alive. It was believed that he may have been in a coma when he was declared dead, but he would have died during the embalming process.
Holy fuck!
What a shit way to
cut him
die.
open.
But surely
Filled with fucking embalming fluid.
But you'd have thought they were clever bastards. Like, surely they're not just like, oh, he stopped talking, he must be dead. They surely checked for a pulse.
Yeah, but this is what, like, a lot of times you can't feel the pulse. Like, it's very weak. You have to get, like, instruments.
Yeah.
But they maybe just didn't. I mean, the fucking...
I mean, when they were embalming him, surely they would have made some sort of incision and seen that
starts
blood was
bleeding
still
or something,
pumping.
right? Yeah.
But then
Or
that
maybe
would have played
the
into the
guy's,
whole
like,
God thing.
done the cut and fucked him up and been like, Yeah, he's dead.
yeah.
He's dead. He's definitely dead. He's definitely dead. Definitely dead. I'm not the guy that killed him. No.
No.
Wasn't me. Wasn't me. He did it to himself.
Yeah, yeah. Classic Boeing case.
Just looks at the apprentice next to him. It's just like, tell fucking no one.
Yeah.
Oh, talking of Boeing. Sorry, this was another note I'd made, but the chat didn't come up. And I've made quite a few notes for this week, by the way. But another note I made was
Has put in the work.
to go back and actually listen, because I listened. I made a reference to it earlier. But it was a gentleman. Where is it? It was a guy. I'll get his exact name so that you can go to it for reference. They're discussing the Boeing suiciding, and there's a company in China that makes airplanes, like big ones, commercial ones, and they've
Not paper airplanes.
not paper.
Origami.
Makes James Lindsay. And I'll pull up these. I'll do this again. This is going to transfer now over 3 podcasts.
Yeah.
And I'll bring up the excerpt for next week. But essentially, yeah, they're bringing out a state of the art Boeing 747-37 competitor, and Boeing know that, and they had to kill him because this is a chat. Put your tinfoil hats on.
Yeah.
But he had to die because of what would have happened if everything came out about Boeing and Boeing's stock starts falling, and this direct competitor comes in and basically just shuts Boeing out.
So they had a direct. They were releasing, like, I imagine, a cheaper
Alternative
version of a 747.
Pretty much.
And then you find out that the luxury version is actually not being produced very well. The
747, the Boeing,
Yeah.
all of a sudden Boeing's shit, and now there's an alternative. So all the governments and companies and state owned whatever start turning to China for their plane, and Boeing obviously would have been very aware of that. It's good yarn, to be fair. He details it very well, but it's conspiratorial in the sense that he's talking about, like, in inverted commas, the deep state basically controlling its collusion, and it pretty much rolling the dice and just moving money around the globe, because they're all invested in all of the countries, and everybody pretty much, it's just pawns. It's just a game of chess, isn't it, to them? Is the way he concludes it.
Fuck. Well, I look forward to hearing the follow-up of that next week. And speaking of next week, tune in next week.
Yeah.
Thanks for listening to the CCVT podcast. Much love.
Peace.